Alright, y'all, man, it's your boy Homeball League 2 times, you feel me? Back here in another video, man, for me. Follow the Instagram at Homeball League 2 times. Now look, as y'all spotted this time, I'm talking about Avatar 3 Fire and Ash Part 6. Now look, Spiritually Decoded Part 6. Now look, before I begin today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to the Most High in general for everything. I'm also giving you a shout out to the Most High for giving me these amazing downloads, dropping this amazing good information on me, you feel me, no cap, etc. I'm also giving a huge shout out to myself as well for wanting to receive this good information and give out this good information as well. I'm also giving a huge shout out to everyone and to y'all. Man, we've been going crazy on social media, man, and just really just, I appreciate all the support and the love, and, it means a lot, you know what I'm saying? It means a lot, man, it really does, it really touches the soul in a positive way, you know what I'm saying? Ashe. As y'all can see, it's tell, I'm still under the weather, but we still, we still here. Pushing these videos. I don't even want to use the word pushing these videos out. We still making and creating these beautiful videos and these beautiful information, etc. And talking about this beautiful information, etc. Also, I'm sending good positive energy, good positive protection, good positive healing, and good positive energy towards everyone always deeply. Also, if you want to buy my ebook, you can. It's $10.90. Link is going to be in the description and in the comments. Let's go ahead and get ready to the video. Also, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you have not seen the new Avatar movie or Avatar in general, you might want to click off this video and come back to it after you've seen the movie if you would like. Let's go ahead and get ready to the video. So look, right? Avatar 3 Fire and Ash, right? See, here's the thing, right? So with Avatar, right? With Avatar, Fire and Ash, what do we get introduced into the first movie? We get introduced to the animals, right? But pay close attention to the things that they fly on. The things that they fly on are actually dragons, right? See, we've been taught and we've been programmed to think that dragons are not real, but James Cameron is clearly showing us that dragons are real, right? Like I've stated, like we've talked about before, like we've discussed before, Pandora is actually Earth, planet Earth, Mother Kai, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Mother Home, whatever name we would like to call it, whatever you like to enunciate it, whatever you like to say, right? The thing is, right, dragons are real, right? Those things that Jake and them are riding on, yes, they're obviously called something different in the Avatar world, the Avatar universe, but the topic of those animals that they're riding on are actually dragons. Obviously, there are different types of dragons. You have your water dragons. There's multiple different types of dragons. You have water dragons, fire dragons, right? Etc., etc., etc. Dragons are very real, and James Cameron is clearly showing us that dragons are real. Let's go deeper. Let's talk more about dragons, right? Because a lot of us didn't really peep this part in the movies/documentaries, including myself at one point or one points, right? The thing is, right, dragons are real, right? See, back in the day, dragons used to be very big. Some of them used to even shoot out or spit out fire, right? You have fire dragons, you have water dragons, etc., 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 right? Pegasus is real. Where do you think they get the story from in Blade? Let it rip, Pegasus. Yes, Pegasus is a real actual being. It's a real thing, right? It comes from something is what I'm saying, right? So in Avatar, they clearly show you that dragons are real, and you might be asking yourself, oh, Wally, well, where are the dragons now? Like, I don't see any dragons now. The thing is, a lot of dragons went through what we call a metamorphosis. And what is a metamorphosis? A metamorphosis is where something changed by the vibration, right? As a good example, right? If you look at a butterfly, it clearly goes from a caterpillar to a butterfly. How is that possible? Because it goes through metamorphosis. In other words, the vibration of it changes. So since the vibration of it changes, the avatar of it changes as well. Some of the features change as well. Some of the colors may change as well, right? When your hair is naturally getting longer, when your ether is getting longer, it's changing vibrations, right? Now, with James Cameron, right, why is he showing you these dragons? Because we used to ride them. Our ancestors, our great, and I mean great ancestors, literally used to ride and be in battle with dragons. No lie, dragons are very real. Dragons are very much real. Dragons are real. Ponies are real, right, etc., etc., etc. Half man, half horse. That stuff is real, right? You see what I'm saying? They put it in these movies and these documentaries for a reason. James Cameron knows what he's doing, right? He's showing you that dragons are real. Hey, they used to fly dragons, right? A lot of times we think we're just watching something, oh, it's fiction. I mean, yes, do not get me wrong. There's obviously clearly fiction in Avatar movies / documentaries, etc., etc., etc. But there's also a lot of truth in these movies and documentaries as well. But a lot of times this information goes over a lot of people's head, right? Right? So yes, and the thing is with dinosaurs, I'm at dinosaurs. With the dragons, right? Dragons are very interesting, right? Dragons are actually one of my favorite animals. I love all the animals, right? Now with dragons, right? Yes, certain dragons can literally breathe out fire. Yes, so they can spit out fire. This is not a lie. This is the truth. Maybe not spit out fire, but they can definitely, like, you see what I'm saying, make fire come out their mouth, right? Now, here's the thing, right? In the first movie, Avatar, right? What did the humans want? They came on Pandora because they wanted the resources, because their planet is slowly but surely, dying off. It's dying out. Like Jake said at the end of the movie in Avatar 1, he said, on Earth, there is no Mother Nature. There is no green on Earth. What he meant by there's no green on Earth, what Jake meant was, Jake Sully meant that there's no Mother Nature, there's no Iwa on Earth, because man is deciding to slowly but surely try to kill off Iwa. If you look at today's society in so-called 2025 as we're rolling into 2026, as you will see, right, a lot of more trees are getting cut down. They're cutting down a lot more trees, etc., etc., etc. Those trees are part of nature. Those trees are part of life. I'm not saying don't cut down the trees, right? Because our ancestors, we used to, take stuff from the trees as well, but we did it in a more high vibrational positive way, right? How a lot of people are using these trees now is in a negative format, in the negative way, which is actually hurting Iwa, Mother Nature. It's hurting Mother Nature, right? It's not strengthening her. It's doing the complete opposite, right? Now, at the beginning of Avatar 1, what did they want? The human beings, they wanted resources because their planet was dying, right? It was dying off. They wanted resources, and at the root of the trees that the Na'vi people had, they had resources that was worth millions and millions and millions of dollars in the Earth world, right? So, and of course, the Na'vi people, they are warriors. That they're tribes. They fight. They know how to protect themselves and fight. They wasn't just gonna let them just take over and just take their resources, and because with the Na'vi, they don't work off of, hey, pay me for this and I'll give you this amount of arrows. No, if you need bow and arrows, you ask, they give you bow and arrows. There's no such thing as you have to pay me this amount of money to get bow and arrows, or if you want certain fruits, you're gonna have to pay me. That's not how it works, because the Na'vi people, the tribe, etc., they understand and they overstand that life can be taken and it can also be given, right? Things happen how they're supposed to happen, and the Na'vi people, etc., they understand and overstand that Awa always provides. We don't have to go work a job. They wasn't working a job. They wasn't paying for things. They was living freely, right? They was living freely. You see what I'm saying? So the main reason why they came on Pandora was to obviously try to do harm, destruction, and to use our resources for their advantage. And they also wanted to study us as well, right? So now, right, let's talk about grace, right? Let's touch base on grace, right? The thing is with grace, right? Let's touch base on grace. The thing is with grace, in the first Avatar movie, why was she on Pandora? Why? Because she wanted to teach. She also wanted samples, right, of the stuff that was in the tree. She also wanted to learn the way of the Na'vi people. She is a scientist. She wanted to help teach them their ways. In other words, Grace wanted to teach Natiri and her sister, etc., how to speak English, how to play basketball. Even in the comics, they clearly show them playing basketball, right? Even in the first movie, a short little clip, they show some of the avatars playing basketball, right? But those were obviously the clone versions, not the real actual Na'vi people playing basketball, right? Now, Grace wanted samples from Pandora. She wanted to experiment. She didn't even believe in AY at first. And she also wanted to teach her way and the Earth way to these Na'vi people. And she wanted to be taught by these Na'vi people as well. And if you paid attention to the first movie and if you watch the comics, way before Jake got there, Natiri and her sister, etc., they actually got taught by Grace. That's why Natiri is able to talk and speak English, right? Because Grace taught her how to speak English, etc., 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 right? Now, the thing is, let's get back on dragons real quick. The thing is with dragons is, well, what happened to the dragons, Ali? Like, why aren't they here now? Because they went through a metamorphosis, right? A lot of your dragons today are all birds. Yes, I know that might sound crazy. I know that might sound ironic, etc. But in today's society, the dragons, excuse me, in today's society, a lot of dragons are birds. Now, I've already decoded and broken down stuff about birds. Yes, all birds are not real. Yes, some birds are fake. But a lot of these birds in today's society are literally dragons, but just in a lower form. And we don't even have to say lower form. I take that back. My apologies. In a different form, right? In a different format, right? Kind of similar to like the caterpillar. The caterpillar goes from a caterpillar to a butterfly. In other words, it enters and it goes into a different form, right? Right? So yes, y'all, dragons are real. Very much real. James Cameron obviously decodes some of it, not fully, but he does somewhat decode and tell you how dragons are real, right? Dragons are very real. We used to ride on them. We used to fight on them in battles like they clearly show in the Avatar movie, all in the 3 movie/documentaries. They're using these dragons to help them in the war. And the thing is with the animals, they are very intuitive. They're also connected to AWA. They used to talk to the... Let me break this down too as well, because I was actually finna end off this video. But nah, we finna go even deeper. Like I was just about to end off the video in a little bit, but we're finna go even deeper, right? Right? I just got another download from the universe, the ancestors. They just sent it to me. We're about to go even deeper. Now look, right? Wipe my nose real quick because we're about to go in deeper, y'all. Okay. So, with the animals on Pandora, right? Why did they help Jake Sully and Natiri, etc.? Why did they help them in the wars? Because when Jake Sully, when he connected his thing to the animal, they are now connected. But not just connected, they're connected how? They're connected telepathy. They're connected telepathically, right? This is why Jake is able to tell it, hey, right now they're shooting at us. I need you to go faster. But Jake doesn't have to verbally say that, or Jake doesn't have to hit the animal and tell him to go faster. No, Jake and the animal, they have a deep understanding. In other words, they have a deep connection of each other. Okay, they're shooting at us, Jake. I got you. I'm going to speed up and go a lot faster, right? This is really how we used to do it in the ancient days, in the older days, right? See, the animals on Pandora, they're very smart, and they're also connected to AWA as well. Everything on AWA is connected. So if you are on Pandora, you are somewhat connected to AWA, even if you are not originally from Pandora. Jake is not originally from Pandora, but as soon as he landed on Pandora, he immediately, slowly but surely, became connected to Pandora/Ewa, AWA, and the people, etc., right? So with the animals are very smart and they're very intelligent. If you look at Avatar Way of Water 2, right, Loke, which is Jake's son, which is Natiri's son, right, Loke tapped in with one of the sea beings, right, with one of the sea animals, right, and they called each other brothers and they was talking. Now of course Loke was talking to him more so with hand signals, right, but that's another way too that we used to talk to the animals as well, right? But another way that we used to do it is telepathically, right? This is why the animals would help them in the war, because they're connected telepathically, innerly. They're connected innerly. The animals played a big part in these wars as well. James Cameron is also telling you that back in the day when we was fighting and we was in these wars, we also had the animals on our sides as well, fighting in these wars as well. If you look back in the day, our ancestors was fighting with lions, on lions, riding elephants, etc., 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 right? James Cameron, like I've been saying, James Cameron is showing a representation of us black people back in the day and what was going on, etc., etc., etc. He's obviously not fully breaking it down, but he is giving us pieces of information that is true. He is giving us a lot of information. He's also giving us a lot of false information, but he's also giving us a lot of real information as well. I say that with all due respect. I have nothing against James Cameron or anybody part of the Avatar franchise, etc., right? But look, man, we decoded a lot of information in this video, right? Y'all can go meditate on this, pray on this if you would like. If not, it's all good. And yeah, man, I'm enjoying these series, man. We've been going really hard, really deep on these series, really been decoding a lot of stuff. And yeah, man, catch y'all for on the next one, man. Peace.